Welcome to the first Cooking and Wine for Lovers experience. We call this the beginning. Tonight we will feature Kurt's famous garlic chicken and pasta and one of our favorite Chardonnays.
So Melissa, you look great as always. Tell us about your dress.
Well, thank you, honey. So I have a Lily Pulitzer on tonight. Very colorful, very casual, very beachy.
Don't they call that the tennis dress?
I believe they do.
Okay, so Lily, you need to make more of these because look how great she looks. Okay, so tonight's wine is from one of our favorite vineyards called Markham out in Napa Valley. It's the Chardonnay that Markham makes. It's actually a beautiful Chardonnay. And then Melissa now is going to read us the tasting notes from Markham.
Aromas of freshly baked brioche greet you with this golden straw-hued wine is first poured. Notes of white peach and juicy pear fruit join in, layered with beeswax, cardamom, and lemon curd. Rich fruit flavors are expansive with toasty highlights from extended surly aging in French oak. Kurt's garlic chicken pasta goes great with this wine.
Okay, now she's going to pour us some of this awesome wine in our way cool Cooking and Wine for Lovers wine glasses that are, of course, available on our website.
Okay.
All right, thanks, sweetie.
You're welcome. These are the ingredients for tonight's meal. So, sweetie, why don't you tell us what we have?
Okay, so what we have tonight is we have, first of all, 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast cut into about little 1-inch pieces. And then we have some garlic powder, some chopped onion, some oregano, chopped basil. We have a whole head of garlic, garlic salt, a little bit of butter, and some extra virgin olive oil. So for the garlic, we have a whole head of garlic, and we love garlic. There will never be any vampires in our house, but you can always go a little bit less if you don't like a lot of garlic like we do. Okay, so to start this meal, we're going to take our olive oil in a nice saute pan. You want a pretty good sized one, and we're going to cover the bottom of the saute pan with the olive oil. Just a nice little thin layer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our basil and our oregano. It's going to be probably about a tablespoon each. And we're going to also cover the bottom of the oil with the basil and the oregano. So that's our oregano. And you can kind of go to this, as you like taste-wise. We really like basil. So we actually kind of favor basil a little bit. And we're going to put it all in there, get it nice and covered on the oil for the bottom, like that. Like I said, it's about a tablespoon of each. And then what we're going to do is take a spoon and just kind of rub it in. And we have no heat yet. And what we're going to do is we're going to let that basil and oregano sit in the olive oil there for a little bit, just so it kind of infuses. So we're going to let it sit there for about 10 minutes, let it infuse into the olive oil, and then we'll be back for our next step. Okay, so the basil and the oregano have been in the oil for about 10 minutes or so. So we're going to put the heat to about medium-high, and we're going to add our chicken. So always remember to keep your chicken board separate from any other stuff you cut so you stay safe. So we're going to put the chicken in the pan, and then we're going to season the chicken with garlic salt, and we're using some Lowry's garlic salt. And by the way, this is the best garlic salt on earth. I don't know who made this stuff, and I don't work for Lowry's, but it is the best thing ever. Use it on anything that says salt, use this instead. So we're going to season it nice and good with the garlic salt, okay? And then we're going to grab our garlic powder, and we're going to season it also really good with the garlic powder. And, okay, then also we're going to add some chopped onion and make that nice and plentiful in there. And then now that we have everything in there, we are going to start sauteing this chicken. Mix everything nice and well together and saute it, and we'll be back in a few minutes when it's more cooked. Okay, so our chicken now has been cooking for about 8 to 10 minutes. It's starting to get the way we want it. And actually, quick story, we called this video the beginning. It's not only the first Cooking and Wine for Lovers experience, but it's also the very first meal I ever made Melissa. I think it was our 4th date. So it has very special meaning to us. It's just something that brings us together, and we always remember our first date. So hey, sweetie, if you want to zoom in, you kind of show everybody what the chicken looks like here. It's starting to, there's no more pink anywhere. What I like to do is just like let it cook till it's just done, maybe just a little slightly browned, and maybe some of the onions just get a little bit brown, maybe a little bit crunchy. So we're just about there. And as soon as we get to that point, we're going to take the chicken out, and then we'll go on to the next step. And by the way, sweetheart, you look gorgeous tonight.
Oh, well, thank you, sweetheart.
Guys,
I
don't
appreciate
forget
that.
to always tell your wife, girlfriend, significant other, whoever it is, how great she looks if she dresses up for you tonight. All right, so take a break. We'll be right back with the next step. Okay, so our chicken is done. We've got it on a plate here, cooling down. And also what I did is I took my head of garlic and broke it into garlic cloves. And what we're going to do is a cool little trick that I learned on Food Network about 20 years ago. We're going to cover the garlic. We're going to put it in our microwave. We're going to have our little microwave cover. And we're going to cook it for 22 seconds. And this is a really cool trick. And what it does is it makes it a lot easier to squeeze out the garlic from the skins. And then we can crush it. And I'll show you what we're going to do as soon as it's done. We got 10 more seconds. And then we're going to press the garlic, which is what we need for tonight.
And while we're waiting on that, we've been sipping on our Chardonnay, and it's a lovely glass of wine. But not too much. We want to save some for dinner.
Right. Okay, so the really cool thing about that little trick is then you can just squeeze the garlics out from the peels, and they're really easy to do. So it's really a cool little trick. All right. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to do all of these, but just not to waste everybody's time, we're going to press the garlic. And we're going to do all of these as we get time. I'm going to press them all, and we'll be back when it's all done. Okay, so next step is we have a pot of water boiling. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil so this pasta doesn't stick together. Most Italian people will tell you that you need to add salt to your pasta water. Melissa and I are trying to watch our sodium, so we avoid that step, and quite frankly, we haven't seen an issue with it. Then what we're going to do is make our sauce for the pasta. We're going to put about a 1/4 cup of olive oil in a little saucepan. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of butter, whatever your favorite butter is. Then we're going to add about another tablespoon of basil. And we're going to turn the heat on and let it start warming up. When it gets warmed up, we'll be back to show you how we do it. Okay, so our oil is heated up, the butter is melted, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put all that crushed garlic in there. We're going to mix it up nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this just to a slight simmer. Maybe a very light boil. And then after it does that, we're just going to let it simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes while we also get ready to do our pasta. Okay, so our pot of water is boiling. Our pasta garlic sauce has boiled, and it now has a very, very light simmer. So we're ready to put our pasta in. So I like to cook, so I made some homemade pasta, but you can use whatever pasta you like. Melissa and I have found that capellini or angel hair really works the best for this recipe. So we're going to put all the pasta in the water. And follow the directions on the box of whatever pasta you use. There's a lot of great store pastas out there. They usually take 10 or 11 minutes for angel hair. This homemade pasta usually goes a lot quicker. So it takes usually about 7-8 minutes. So as soon as this is done, we'll be back to put this all together and have a great dinner. Okay, so our pasta is boiled. We strained it. We're going to put it in our bowl. One thing, never ever wash strained pasta with water. That kind of ruins it. So what we're going to do is we have our pasta there. Now we have our chicken we cooked earlier. We're going to put that in with all the nice juicy oil and basil. And we're going to toss that together. Okay, just like that. It's beautiful. And then we're going to take lastly, that beautiful garlic sauce. And we're going to kick that in there like that. Okay, get it all in there because we can't have any lost garlic. We need to make sure the vampires aren't coming. And we're going to toss that as well. So we're going to toss it all together. This is Kurt's famous pasta and chicken. Actually one of our favorite meals. And we're going to get this ready now to finish our dinner and finish our wine.
Looks yummy. So the table is set for our beautiful romantic evening and meal, and I'm going to top that off with some freshly grated Parmesan. It's a beautiful ending touch.
And there is nothing better than fresh grated Parmesan. I used to use the store-bought stuff, but buy the fresh stuff and grate it. It is better than anything.
And there we have it. Dinner for two. Romantic dinner for two.
Okay, so this is Kurt and Melissa Godwin coming to you from beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. We're going to finish this beautiful meal we made. We're going to finish our wine, and we're going to see what happens.
Remember, the couple that cooks together stays together.
For sure.
Cheers.
See you next time.